This part is about making contact with new people in the digital sphere. How do people communicate digitally these days? Well, it's called social media. So when Steve Blank advises you to get out of the building, one way to do that is to do it digitally, through social media marketing. People use social media a lot. So if you want to find new people who can help you in your journey, it makes a lot of sense to use social media. But then as a content creator with content related to your entrepreneurial project idea. Here we will take a quite specific perspective on social media marketing, and that is how new ventures can use social media in all stages of their development. Not only when they have finished their product and they want to market it. Social media marketing requires some effort and knowledge. Many ventures decide that they don't have the time, or say that when we need that we will hire someone. So is this simply a make or buy decision? Every year I've been teaching about digital communication here at our School of Entrepreneurship. I've heard from students that this is not so relevant, and why do we need to do this? We will just buy this from someone. Honestly, I think they are wrong. I think it's a huge mistake not to learn how to use social media marketing yourself. Because in the early stages, when you really need to get in touch with early adopters in your industry, you cannot afford to hire someone. You don't have the money. Some students have actually come back to me to say, hey, I was wrong. I didn't need to know this. Here's an example reflection I got a few years ago from a student who was skeptical, but then changed opinion completely after graduation, as she tried to start up her own social venture and needed own knowledge of how to work with video. Enough about the why question. How is social media marketing used in practice by ventures? Here's an overview of an investigation done by two of my former students. It turns out that most entrepreneurs use social media for sales and marketing, but also for securing resources, for building up their brand, and for scaling their company. Only some use it for market validation and product testing. Very few use it for ideation and formation, which is about building up insights about their industry and product market fit. I think this represents untapped potential. I would like to see more entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs to use social media to get in touch with those crucial innovators and early adopters. I think it can save a lot of time and accelerate the early stages significantly. Let's continue with how questions. How should social media be used by content creators? There's a lot of advice on this out there. Here I'll try to summarize some of the advice. It's a lot about engagement, inspiration, and trying to help people. And that can be done through photos and videos. Especially videos can be very powerful. But make sure you don't do the noob mistake of posting a link to your video. Many social media platforms require you to post a raw video file in order for it to autoplay. Then we have the timing issue. Lots of people will advise you to post regularly and often, because that's how you build up a community of followers. You can also pay your way by advertising. Social media platforms are incredibly powerful when it comes to paying only for the exact people you are targeting, based on interests, job descriptions, positions, etc. And it can be quite cost effective. A few years ago, I had two students who investigated social media for entrepreneurs. They focused a lot on the importance of branding. And I think they made an important point in their master thesis. Here are some questions you really need to think through in order to succeed with social media marketing. You need to think hard around what your core startup idea is, how you build up a community of like-minded people, how you manage to come across as authentic, and how to do all of this in a structured and sustainable way. It is easy to lose track of it in a hectic build-up phase. I put their excellent report on Canvas if you want to read more about this. Now let's talk a bit more specifically about video. I think video is one of the most powerful technologies ever when it comes to explaining what's new and interesting with a new venture. So this is a must-know area. There are a number of basic things every entrepreneurial person needs to know. How to tell a good story through video, how to use video editing software, how to share your video, and how to do a search engine optimization for your content. For my own videos, most time actually goes into preparing. I think through what I want to say, and I often write it down in a script. But it's also about being yourself. Video is revealing, so don't fake it. Try to be authentic. It's also important to be brief. People tend to lose attention quickly these days. A minute or two is a long time when it comes to video. Sometimes 10 seconds is too long. You also need to add subtitles. Much video is watched without sound these days, at least on social media. End your video with a call to action if applicable. Here's the equipment I use. Some people would say that this is way too complicated and that a mobile phone is enough. I don't know. But I do know that sound quality is super important, so make sure the sound comes across as high quality. I use a large microphone, and I think it's an important component. And then software, of course. Make a careful choice of video editing software, because these programs are expensive, and avoid free software. The risk is that you invest hours and hours into a certain software, only to find that you cannot share the video without paying. You can of course use trial periods, but they are often too short if you are serious about video. This is the way it looks when I'm out documenting happy customers, mobile yet professional. Video can be used in a lot of different ways. Here are some examples. You can turn a PowerPoint into a video. You can do a simple talking head and add graphics. You can do a customer or key opinion leader interview. You can do a product video, short or longer depending on purpose. And you can do basically anything, creative stuff with animations and things like that. It's only your imagination that sets the limit of what's possible. Okay, this is all we have time for here. If you want to learn more about social media marketing, I've compiled a lot of reading for you. It's completely optional and you find it on Canvas.